Okay, let's get started. I would ask everyone to mute yourself. Yeah. Okay. I'm Ranjan Das. I'm 1998 alumnus, and I welcome everyone to this webinar. And I appreciate you guys joining on a Saturday. So it's, thanks a lot. So today we would have an interesting talk. Let me introduce the speaker, and we will do the same thing as we did in the past. So we will give the speaker about 40 minutes time, and then there would be question answer. I would appreciate if there is really no questions during the presentation. This way we can really hear the speaker. Yeah. So today's speaker is Amiya Kumar Samantaray, and he is going to talk on digitally transferring operation of distributed machine, and that short form is Datoms. Amiya is founder and CEO of Datoms, and is from the NIT Rourkela family. He's an alumnus of 2014 batch, and Datoms is the first startup from NIT Rourkela that was incubated in NIT Rourkela and has grown out of the company. So it's basically they have transitioned from very much a university startup and grown out towards commercialization. Yeah. He's a fellow member of Royal Academy of Engineering UK. He was facilitated by the President and the Communication Minister of India in 2017 for winning a challenge by Intel. He was awarded the title of Best Engineer in the area of green energy for engineering excellence by Nalco. So without further ado, let's invite Amiya, and Amiya is going to talk about Datoms, which is digitally transferring operation of distributed machine. Over to you, Amiya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks for the nice introduction. So good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So let me introduce myself. So I'll just walk you through a small presentation and talk about our journey and what we're trying to do over here. So I'm sharing the screen. Is my screen visible?
Yeah.
So yeah, so myself, Amiya Samantaray. So I am a graduate of electronics instrumentation from the batch of 2014 NIT Rourkela. So so I am just like say I think couple of years juniors to all of you. So it's an honor to present in this forum and in front of all of you and all getting your guidance and experience. So today I'll be talking about how Datoms is transforming digital like distributed operation in the distributed machine sector. So we have started our journey from NIT Rourkela when I was in the campus in 2014. We formed the company in 2015 by the then director, Mr. Sunil Kumar Sarangi, who supported me while they were thinking about forming an incubation center inside the campus. So we are the first company registered inside the campus as a startup and started our operation. Definitely the initial days were very difficult, building a startup out of Rourkela without any support and guidance, without the ecosystem was definitely a challenging task. But like somehow I got the support of the institute, our alma mater, as well as a couple of my juniors who were there in the college. So I could able to come up with a product, and some solutions we have received a couple of awards in the forthcoming years in 2016 and 17. And gradually we started building a product. So in the initial phase of our journey, we have come out with a product named Arashur, which is a solution for environmental monitoring in the cities, for which we have received a lot of awards. And we have also deployed this solution in 20 smart cities in India by 2019. Then 2020, everybody knows, like say COVID happened. So things changed drastically. The government projects has a lot of impact. So the funds has been diverted. So at that point in time, Datoms was born. So we pivoted and like say we started working on a new solution where we are talking about the future of connected machines or connected world, where we are believing that in the last decade, if WhatsApp and Instagram and all these social media have joined people, in the next 10 years or 15 years, we are going to be more connected with our surrounding or with our machines. So with that thing in our mind, so we have kept a vision to connect 10 million machines in the next 5 to 6 years time frame. So coming to the broader aspect of the challenge about the distributed asset industry. So giving you a context of the sectors, so you can easily imagine the sectors such as agriculture, warehousing, construction, telecom, mining, oil and gas. So it falls under the distributed asset sector. So where in this sector, the challenge is very much prominent, where you don't have any information about this kind of machines. So these operations are happening in a remote location, or the management who is actually managing the entire they don't have the right kind of information at the right time. So that's the fundamental problem in this sector. And if I extend this problem to the broader ecosystem, when I talk about the ecosystem, I'm talking about the OEM, the equipment manufacturer who are selling these kind of machines, the service providers who are actually managing the services or the maintenance of these kind of machines, and then the end customer who is actually consuming or using the machine. So if I talk about the ecosystem, the entire value chain suffers because of lack of information. So take an example of an agricultural sector where you have agricultural equipments running in multiple farmlands, where suppose this manufacturer has supplied the equipment to the end customer. Because the OEM or the manufacturer doesn't have any data regarding the machine, so they don't have any additional revenue on a service basis coming from the end customer on a long term. The second part is like if the customer claims a warranty, there is no way to verify whether the warranty is true or whether the warranty claim is true or false. And they can't also improvise on the problems which is happening in the site, and their production team or their engineering team doesn't have any information about the problems or challenges the customer is facing on site. So these are the fundamental problems what the OEM is facing. If I talk about the service provider or the service dealer or a service and maintenance company who is providing the maintenance and spares to the end customer, so they also don't have any information, which leads to certain problems such as costly manual inspection, because every time there is a problem, the service provider has to send somebody to the site to fix the issue, to fix the problem, and to understand, then then to figure out what are the components that is required to fix the issue, to order the component. It's becoming more time consuming because you don't have the right information. So usually you don't have the right tool to fix the issue quickly. So that's the fundamental problem for the operation and maintenance company. And for the end customer, because you have fleet of machine running at different places, maybe stationary, maybe moving, maybe like say heavy equipment. So all these machines, so you don't have a centralized tracking system, or you don't have a centralized system where you know about maintenance, you know about your equipment efficiency, you know about your equipment uses. So if you look at the entire value chain, the only solution to this problem is a connected asset. So you have already we're experiencing already connected car solutions, but similarly for the connected car, similarly we can similarly experience similar kind of solution in the other sectors. Then talking about the digital transformation of connected assets. So what is going to happen and how the sector will be evolved, or how this sector or the product is going to evolve over a period of time. So when you're talking about connected asset, we're talking about the three fundamental transformation. One is the service transformation, where we are talking about so without involving any manpower or any person, so the asset or the machine should able to communicate its problem directly to the manufacturer or to the service provider. So without the need of the customers in intimation, the service provider can come to the site and fix the issue before the machine breaks down. So that's the first part. The second part is the product transformation. The product transformation happens through, like, say, how we can actually monetize on the data, how we can monetize on the services you're offering to the end customer. You talk about insurance, you talk about fintech products, you talk about spare cells or triggers. So how you, with the connected asset, you can digitize or like monetize on the asset sales, or you can come up with new revenue streams or new revenue models through connected product. Then the third part is the customer management. So customer management, like, say, suppose right now we are selling the machine one time to a customer. In some cases, as per the industry standard for these kind of sectors, there is hardly 20 to 15% of the customers who are providing annual maintenance contract to the OEM or the service dealers. So this is more inorganized, more fragmented market. So through connected assets, the customer management, the life cycle management of the end machine can be much better, and we can reach to a 70 to 80% of like, say, utilization, or the life, we can enhance or increase the value of the services for like the smart products, smart services using the connected product. So that's we are talking about the three fundamental aspects of the product transformation or digital transformation that is going to come in the distributed asset sector. Then talking about, because this sector is not a very small sector, thus it has a large potential. If you talk about the potential of this market, I'm only talking about the agricultural sector or a construction equipment sector or the power backup sector. So if we include these kind of sectors, you can see almost there are almost like, say, 60 to 70 million machines, which is going to be available in the market. So if you're talking about 70 million machines available in the market, that means, so in the next 10-year time horizon, we'll be having these many machines going to be connected to internet. So that means that's a huge market or huge, like, say, value which we are trying to solve here. So the ultimate, the market size would be so enormous, and like there is so much of opportunity lying here. So where we are talking about like monetizing on, like, say, their spare parts, their consumables, their like, say, utilization on their software aspect, their financing. So the overall market is huge, where the problem is there, and we're trying to solve that problem through our technology. So how the problem, how Datoms is trying to solve this problem, or how any connected machine problem can be resolved, is, like, say, there are three aspects in solving this problem. One is the connected machine. So that means the first component of the solution is digital twin. So what we're talking here is a digital twin, which is converting a physical machine into a virtual one. That means, like, we're converting, we're creating a virtual footprint of the machine by capturing all the necessary parameters which is available in the machine. So usually if you look at your car in your instrumentation cluster, so you have multiple parameters available. And in case of connected car, so what is going to happen is, like, say, you basically connect a telematics device or telematics unit, which will capture all these parameters or all the sensor data or the engine data or all the detailed health parameters, fault parameters. Everything is going to come to a centralized platform where the OEM or the end customer can access all this data. And in the application side, you have two set of applications. One is on the platform layer, where the OEM or the operation and maintenance companies can access the data, and they can manage the machine throughout the entire machine life cycle. And then the end customer part, where the end customer can get an access. So if you are using a smart car already, so you can already visualize, say, what I'm talking here. So in the smart car, you will get a smart app where you can connect, like, say, you can get all the access in your mobile phone, you can control the machine, you can get all the running information, you can get all the parameters related to the health, you can get the service due date. Everything is available in the end user application. The same thing is also available to the OEM or the maintenance companies, where they analyze on the fault parameters, performance indexes, and like they can improvise on the product, and they can launch new data-driven models or data-driven products using this platform. So the overall problem, like, say, overall solution gives you three primary use cases. One gives you real-time monitoring. It gives you high operational efficiency. The machine is not getting down, and you can avoid unplanned downtimes through predictive maintenance. So that's with this solution, the entire sector or the entire solution is going to be transformed. So this is what I was talking, like say how you can talk about transforming service and products through connected asset. So envisioning new digital enabled products. I was talking about, like say right now, most of the insurance across the globe is driven, it's not personalized as per the machine uses. So if I am driving a car, I am driving it very rashly, or like I have made few accidents, but I have not claimed any insurance in the last year. For me, the insurance is going to remain same. It's not going to vary. It's also true for any other kind of equipment which is getting used right now. So if you talk about the insurance or any fintech products, so right now it's not personalized as per the uses, and the banks or the insurance companies don't have any data regarding the uses of the machine. So with the connected products, this sector is going to be transformed. The insurance product sector is going to be transformed. The OEMs are going to play a major role, coming up this financing or the insurance sector. Then talking about the spare sales or services that is going to happen across the machine life cycle. So if you look at these kind of machines, so the OPEX for these kind of machines are around like say 70 to 80%. If I consider the total life cycle value or the total life cycle expenses for this kind of machine. So you might be paying a very high cost upfront, but the question is every year you are paying a significant amount of money on running these kind of machines. And you are also investing in like say operational expenditure or like say maintenance of this kind of machines. So there is a study that which talks about that 1/3 of the spare parts which is used in the current market are counterfeit parts. So the OEMs are losing out a lot of revenue by not selling right products or by not knowing when the spare is required by the end customer. So with the connected product, so the OEM gets the chance to monetize on the spare sales or provide better customer service, and they can also ensure the higher life cycle of these kind of machine, and they can improvise the efficiency of these machines as well. So overall, like if you look at like say the transformation that is going to happen through connected product is enormous. And lastly, we're talking about the field service management. So without customer informing anything to the end, like say anything to the OEM or the service dealer, so the problem can be identified the OEM or the service dealer, and they can fix it before you know. So that's going to be that's really magical, and that's how the world is going to change in the future. And already we have started experiencing these things in the developed markets, which is going to come to the like underdeveloped markets or developing economies, where there is a huge potential and huge numbers which is going to like say disruption is going to happen in the sector. And talking about the technology stack, so just to give a glimpse of like how a connected platform works. So you can see basically these are like say different type of machine which is connected using different software devices, software agents, or maybe a physical telematic device. So then the data is coming to a IoT hub which captures all the data, and it broadcasts it into a like messaging stream or a processing stream where the data is going to be processed, and then you have aggregation, then you have different services, so which is helping churning out the data and generating multiple services for the business model or like say business logic. So then you have the end customer application where the application or the data is consumed by the end consumer. So this is a broader like overview of the like say architecture of any IoT solution. And the secret sauce for the mass adoption would be the telematics component, which has to be generic, or maybe you can say universal across machine categories. Because if you talk about different make and models, each machine talking a different language or different protocol would be very difficult to scale while you're talking about connecting a telematics unit. So if you're talking about for the end customer simplicity or the like say scalability of this kind of solutions, so we need a universal data miner or universal data acquisition device which can fit across machine categories or which retrofits across multiple brands. So this is what like we have been doing, and so this is our team. So we have like say most of the people coming from NIT Rourkela. Currently, we are around a 60-member team, out of which 25 members are from NIT Rourkela, few are from IITs, and few are from other engineering colleges. And we have been backed by like a couple of our alumni, so from NIT and some of the non-NITs fellows who are based out of US. And yeah, so this is what we have for you. And I would like say we are right now, the objective of reaching out to you is like, so we are also planning to, right now we are present in India, and primarily the business is happening in India, but we are extending our presence to different African countries as well as US and other developed markets. So we have already acquired certain customers in the African region and the Middle East region. So we are extending our, we'll be expanding to US market. So we look for evangelists or maybe support from any of like say multiple people who can support and help us help Datoms grow. And at the same time, we are also looking to raise a funding round. So right now we are raising the 3 million round. So if anybody is interested, they can also participate in that. So thank you so much. I would like to introduce Mr. Chitta, so who is also associated with us and is present in this meeting. So Chitta, you can like share your thoughts. And he is actually based out of US, so you can like talk about to the podium for a minute.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Amiya, for this. Hi everyone. I'm like Amiya said. So I was really pleased when I saw Amiya is doing this, and it happened to be we are from the same area natively. I live in Indianapolis in US, but I'm from his hometown, you can say district, Noyagarh. So it happened to be connected all the dots, and I was working with GE for these IoT platforms for them. Then interest matched, and then I thought like I should be part of this interesting journey, and that's how I'm here. For Datoms, I'm starting to doing the groundwork, how we'll be penetrating or starting our operation in US, and connecting with a couple of industry experts here locally, mainly in dairy industry and water and all this water treatment industry for government. All the sectors we're working, trying to strategize how we should position our products for a commercial success, of course. Yeah, and of course, any guidance, any clue, any lead that will help us to make for an opportunity will be definitely helpful for us. And yeah, seeking your guidance and support, and you guys can connect me if you're in US for any kind of details for Datoms.
Thanks, Chira. So now like we're open to any questions. So if anyone has any questions, so we can discuss that. Would appreciate your feedback and suggestions. Thank you for like giving us an opportunity to talk at this forum.
Okay, so time for questions.
I have a couple of questions. One is, I was in the medical imaging industry, and so we're actually OEMs, and we used to sell laser medical imager for output systems, and as OEM we also interact with the clients. But in that case, if the machine breaks down, then we will know actually when the machine breaks down, and then the field service people are going to go and try to take care of the things. But in this case, these are all specialized machines. We don't have millions, but we have actually probably 20, 30, 40,000 machines for any particular product. And so the interaction is between the OEM and the client. And how your system is different than the one I'm talking about.
So overall, the idea of creating the system is to democratize the implementation of IoT. So there might be some of those, like say, great, like large size OEMs who are selling or like have capability to come up with a platform and like say sell the platform to the end customer. But like there are a lot of OEMs or the players in the market who don't have the capability or don't have the resources to build the entire platform from scratch. So what we're offering here is a SaaS product where the OEM partners with like Datoms, and they can launch a smart product within a month rather than waiting for 2 years to build it from scratch. So that's the fundamental differentiation what is coming, because if you start building everything from scratch, so usually it's like happens like a IT services, because when people started building IT systems, they realized the services, they require a dedicated company to manage their IT services. So that's why IT services industry has grown over the years. Similarly, what we believe is over a period of time, IT like IoT is getting more complex and complex. So for any company or any OEM who is managing lakhs of machines, it would be very difficult for them to scale the system when as per the customer demand changes, as per the business model changes. So Datoms is positioned at the right spot to help the OEM to monetize on the data, to monetize on the basically product, and provide them the right tools so that they can focus on their business, and together we can grow. So that's how Datoms is positioned and like differentiating itself from the like large scale OEMs.
My second question, okay, thank you. My second question was, when you try to interact with the clients, they thought probably we are going to take the data away from them, and so the privacy is lost and all that. It requires a lot of communication with the client company that we are not really, we're trying to service faster, not trying to take their privacy out of, I mean, we're not going to really, not looking at actually privacy control or something like that. So did you find any such problems, or are they actually, in your case, probably clients comes to you, okay, help us in doing this thing, but
so in terms of actually, so talking about the privacy, so what we have done is like, so we have given an option for the client, whatever data they want to share with the OEM, so they can share that information only. Suppose the OEM requires fault or like say maybe some kind of triggers for maintenance triggers information, rather than they don't want the operating information. And if the customer wants to share the operating information with the OEM, so it will be anonymous. So that means the OEM doesn't have any information whether the data is consumed by which customer, which end client. So one is so specified data sharing for specified services. So that's the first component, because they don't want, the OEM doesn't want all the data, all the utilization data or usage data. So the second one is given so basically a custom choice for the OEM to control the access. So if the end customer or the client doesn't want to share the data, they can just stop sharing like with the OEM. So they can block it, so the OEM doesn't have the access to their data feed coming from the devices. So basically it's like, say, it's more about the time. Right now we are sharing everything with Google or Facebook or WhatsApp. So and they are able to provide better services to us. Or it is like, say, we have like, say, heard from multiple authors that like maybe Google will be able to recommend like our better app or couples in a better way than rather we recommending or we finding like our marriage partner, right? So right now, the similar way, what we believe is like, say, the more information the OEM has, it can provide better services or better product offerings. So it's the choice of the customer whether they want a better service or they don't want. So they have a choice.
okay, thank you.
Amiya, this is John Cora. I have a question. Can you go back to the last flow chart, the detailed flow chart you showed?
Yeah, sure. Give me a second.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I'm intrigued why it was called Kafka stream. Is it a black box? That's why you call it Kafka stream.
So basically, so this is basically a pipe. So you can see like, so the data is consumed by different services, like say across different segments in the code base. So the data is the first stage of like the data entering to the application layer. It comes to a stream of pipes. So the pipe is responsible for delivering, like say, basically data to different services at different point in time. So that's why it's
if you can take it, right? So Kafka is just a streaming platform. So streaming engine that will pick the data from source and just transport it to the end API where it will be consumed.
Yeah,
So anything
I'm interested to see why it was named Kafka, because
No,
Kafka
okay.
is a very famous writer, and you know, who wrote a lot of stories about intrigue and things like that. You know, so that's my question: why it was named Kafka?
That's the name of a software product. You know, open source software
is it?
product.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It just happened to be the same name.
Somebody used the name of the writer.
Yeah, it's this
Okay.
Apache Kafka. Yeah, it's a software product, you can say,
Okay.
which basically it provides a stream to stream data, you know, like a publisher and subscriber model.
Okay.
That's interesting. I think the software people will identify that. I have a quick question. Amiya, is very fascinating, and I like your vision. And so I have one question. Yeah, this is basically a industrial IoT as a service. That's the way I look at it, right? You know, you have made some generic solution that can retrofit. So the first question is, what are the? I mean, obviously, I think the key is to acquire the different kind of data. So depending on the environment you operate in, right, agriculture or industrial. So the way you can retrofit this to any product, does it? How much it depends on the kind of data and sensors that are available to acquire the data. So I mean, what kind of product and industry are you able to operate in? That's my first question.
So primarily, so we focus in distributed asset sector. So we're not focusing in factory floors. So
Okay.
when distributed asset sector means like construction, like say warehousing, then agriculture, then mining, oil and gas, and like say similar kind of sectors where you see operations happening in pockets. So that means the machines are fragmented across multiple geographies, and you don't have any kind of connectivity or SCADA system or any kind of dashboarding available of the self. So you are dependent on telematics when you're a connected product. So that's the sector we are going after, because there is a significant problem or significant challenge in the developed markets also. And recently we have seen a decacorn happening in US. Like Samsara has recently filed IPO, and now they're valued at around $10 billion. So the sector is going to like say, so basically disrupted using connected product. So what we're trying to do here is like say come up with a device where we can capture the data from the sensor which is already available in these kind of machines. In some cases, suppose you're talking about older machines, suppose which is already 10 years old. So in that case, maybe there is no sensor available. So we might have to install some sensors, which is not provided by us. Basically, we outsource or we source some kind of sensors from different partners and help the customer to like say fit in those sensors so that like you can get at least some basic data. But if it is a new machine, so primarily the focus is to capture the new machine market or any machine coming to the market. So with the OEM strategy, with the OEM model, so our objective is to bundle our device or bundle our solution with the OEM so that all the machines coming out of the factory will be bundled with Datoms. And we can become a de facto or maybe OS, or maybe you can say de facto platform where all the machines are compatible to Datoms. And then we have also end customer offering, multiple data value added services offering. So we can become a marketplace or a platform. So where data can be monetized, the multiple services can be offered to the end customer.
I see. So do you already have that unit that you showed? That is the data acquisition unit. You already built that, or you're building it? Oh, awesome. Yeah,
this one,
awesome.
So this one is, so basically, so we have already, right now we're dispatching around 1,000 devices per month And we are expecting to clock almost 3,000 to 4,000 pieces in the next 1 year time frame. And already we have started working with some of the large names in India, like say Mahindra Power. We're also working with Kohler Power, Ashok Leyland, Caterpillar. So Caterpillar, basically Caterpillar OEM in India, not the Caterpillar US, Caterpillar OEM Gemco. So we are primarily trying to work with most of the OEMs. We are also running POCs with Cummins and other OEMs. And yeah, so once we prove our solution in this geography, we are also getting very good response in the African market, Nigeria, South Africa. And because in these places, the OEMs are not so technically savvy and they don't have a IT team, strong IT team. So they can't actually build their own IoT platform in a like say maybe in a year or two. But the question is the disruption is going to happen. And nobody's, so everyone is restless about like say bringing a new product to the market. So they don't want to lose out from US companies or from the developed market companies coming to these kind of markets and offering a new product. So how they are going to compete. So that's where Datoms comes into picture and offers them a product where they can offer a smart product within a month rather than waiting for years.
Fascinating. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Well, this is Birendra Jaina. I have two questions. I really thank you for this, for piloting this very innovative idea, and I wish success for that.
Thank you.
My first question is, it's a general question about India. How is the after-sale service in India? How is the setup? I understand automobiles, they must be having that when you buy the automobile and then something breaks down, you can go to the dealership and get it fixed. But what about the farm equipment sector? My question is, suppose I buy a tractor and the tractor breaks down. Can I take it to the dealership to get it fixed, or I have to find a local mechanic to do that?
So right now, if you talk about like the service sector, be it like say agricultural, pharmaceutical, maybe construction, so all the sectors are very fragmented and not structured. So you won't find the right kind of service dealers across geographies, because so that's a bigger problem. When you have a problem, so you have to call a service engineer who is authorized service dealer of that kind of machine, or maybe that kind of for that brand. And they will take time to come to your site and fix the issue. And sometimes if the issue is critical and you don't have the right spares or right tools to debug, so it may take maybe months. So sometimes for that reason, people keep like say additional buffer devices, buffer machines to manage their work. But in this case, so if you have a connected product, so definitely this scenario going to be changed, because you have less resources, but you have the right information at the right time. So you can plan your visits, you can better manage your resources as per the need of your like the service visits, or as a need of your different distributed machines.
Thank you. The second question is, in your presentation, you showed that you have several projects going on with the smart cities. So what do you do there?
So that's the first phase of our company, where we started like building the product. So we have a brand names. We have another entity actually, so which is Orasure, which is run by a different team. So where we primarily focus on sustainable, basically sustainable solutions, where we are monitoring air quality, water quality, then urban flooding. So we are Orasure is an open source platform where we're trying to create an ecosystem of sensors where people can get right to information, basically, so they can access the data about air quality, flooding, and it can be available in the public domain. And so that's the idea we started in the first 4 or 5 years. Then post-COVID.
Thank you so much. Hi, everybody.
Sandeep Mosa, you have a question?
Yes. Amiya, this is nice to hear this kind of initiative. I will ask you a question based on experience. I know way back in 70s, I was SDO in Sunabeda of heavy masonry subdivision. And what we found is they wanted to start national highways. And then they came to us that, okay, we need machines in Khurda. And what we found is National Highway Division in Cuttack, they had 66 road rollers.
Okay.
And in Sunabeda, we had 10 road rollers. But they did not have an operating machine. And what we did is we had similar problem, but when I went there, I said, okay, find out which machine is missing which part and let us cannibalize and start them. And so we found that we could operate 6 of the machines. And this caught attention of S.C. Padhi. He said, I want, immediately 5 of them in Khurda. So we had to put them on trucks and transport all the way from Sunabeda to, but if we had these machines connected, their status connected to the chief engineer's office, somebody could go there and say, okay, I have got this in Cuttack, this in Sunabeda, but I have so much in Sambalpur, I have so much in Baripada, because, machines, there were different, and know how many of them are operating, how many are not, and why they are not operating. And in 3 months, they could probably, at chief engineer's level, they could assist these maintenance staff to be activated, parts to be supplied. Are you trying to sell Orissa government a similar idea that you can monitor your machines in a from central place and provide them, optimized parts and so that your future needs will be, attended to?
Yes, sir, absolutely. You have spoken the right approach, because with the connected machines, we can definitely address this kind of challenges, because be the parts, be the availability of the machine. Maybe some places, some machines are available and running, like lying idle, and some places you are hiring additional machines or purchasing additional machines. So those issues can be easily sorted out once you have the right kind of information across multiple departments. But like at this point in time, so we have not approached any government bodies, but definitely any leads or any suggestions would be definitely will be appreciated, and we look forward to this kind of support from you.
I am many years out of it, so I don't have connection to the present government offices, but probably conditions have not changed much. The right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing, and where the machines are lying idle, and where machines are broken, and for minimum parts, a fuel pump or a marginal which can be cannibalized. Instead of moving a machine from Sunabeda on truck to Khurda, they could have cannibalized their 66 machines were lying. I'm sure they could have done that. But are you selling this idea to government or trying yet to hello?
Right now, we have not actually approached government because of several things, because we have to do a lot of maybe concept selling because it takes time. So we are actually focusing more on the private sector. Once the private sector adopts, and how things are going and things are changing in India is the government is now focusing on more on leasing this kind of machines. So rather than purchasing this kind of machines, government is focusing on taking these machines on lease. So and on a compliance level. So L&T recently, the last month, L&T has come out with a compliance where L&T has asked all its contractor to provide connected machine. So if you're not providing a connected machine, L&T is not going to hire your machine. So if that is going to, because L&T has put that notifications to all its contractor, so that's going to happen for all the contractors, or so everybody is going to follow the path, and maybe the same thing will be adopted. So in that case, so what we feel is it's important to be part of the ecosystem And naturally, you will be like maybe somebody who is supplying or who is selling the machines to the government will maybe take our partnership and like say, then they will push it to the government rather than we selling it directly to the government. So we will prefer the channel partners route to reach out to the government agencies.
The remoter the parts, I mean, layout, wherever you need machines can make difference in the remote parts more than the, city of Cuttack or Bhubaneswar. So when you do that, probably you have to go to the minister in Orissa who is an IIT graduate and tell him that this is possible.
Right.
Does it make sense?
We are in touch with him, so maybe I can reach out to him personally. So,
Okay.
I'll try. I am taking I'm taking note of your idea. So I'll reach out.
Thank you.
Prateek.
Hi everyone, Prateek Gera here. I'm one of the advisors for Datoms and I've been working with Amiya and team for past several months now. I'm really amazed how they have built this company, starting from hardware and started from a different use case, smart city, then moved on from hardware to an enterprise grade application software, and then to a much wider set of equipment and assets that they are now targeting. And so really amazed to see what has come out of NIT Rourkela. Amiya, I don't know if you've already spoken about it, but it'll be very useful if you talk a little bit about your GTM and your success in the genset market. That will help kind of visualize how the product and the technology is making a difference at a very specific asset class and what the customers are using it for.
Right. So actually, I was talking about the customers, so on the genset market right now, we are working with more than 60% of the OEMs in India. So we are working with Mahindra, we are working with Tata, we are working with Ashok Leyland, Cummins, Caterpillar, Kohler. So almost like say Tafe Motors, TMTL. So all these brands. So like Mahindra and Caterpillar have started dispatching like our solutions bundled with some of their genset ranges, like say 120 kV and above machine are coming with default option as Datoms bundled with their machine. And for other categories, so we're working on like say reducing the hardware cost. The hardware is actually designed, manufactured in India. So it has actually, so we have designed this hardware inside the campus only. So it's actually, the hardware is coming out of Odisha. So it's an opportunity for us to really compete with, so to change the game from a hardware driven solutions to a solution or a maybe software driven product where the hardware is not a question. So whether we use a Chinese hardware or an Indian hardware, doesn't matter. What matters is the solution. So like software is eating into the hardware industry. So that's where we believe that like the cost of the hardware will come down and we should be able to compete with Chinese hardware makers, maybe a year or two where we'll have the volumes. So once we get the volume, maybe, so right now, maybe we have to bear some losses while selling the hardware to compete with Chinese. But the question is like in the long run, we'll win because we have the tech, we have the solution, and we are going in the right direction.
Maybe I can ask a question. So can you give us a little more insight on the competition? Are there other companies in this space? How big they are, and what's the status there? Yeah.
So definitely, so there are like different competitors available in this space because see, when you talk about like say monitoring remote assets, so there are many companies providing a fleet monitoring solution. Many companies provide fleet monitoring solution or a construction equipment monitoring solution. But the fundamental difference we are bringing here is there is very few companies who are focusing on OEMs or like say selling to the OEMs or selling the platform for the OEM. So they're building a solution or application for the end customer. So that is one side of the story. The second part is most of the companies, either they build only hardware or they build only software. They don't. So when you think about like creating the best product, so maybe, so you need to have control over both the pieces. If you think about like say why Teslas of the world or the Apples of the world, why they have built best of the best softwares or hardware, because they control the entire like say supply chain or maybe the entire tech stack, be the hardware and the software. So though in Android devices, the performance is better, but Apple gets with a lower spec, Apple phone get more performance boost. Similarly, so we have Datoms has the potential because it controls the entire stack. The second one is more focus on the GTM, where we are helping the OEM. Because if you talk about these asset categories, so usually end customer doesn't give you an access to touch their machine unless the OEM gives you the permission, because there is a fear of loss of warranty or maybe a damage of the machine by using an additional device or additional connected product. So in that case, OEM route is the best possible way to tap in this market. And convincing the OEM doesn't happens overnight. So you have to spend a lot of time to convince the OEM, prove your capability. So maybe security aspects, a lot of things needs to be done while building the product. So though there is a lot of competition, but so we are a little bit ahead of the game, maybe 12 months or maybe 14 months. If somebody comes into the market with a large money, still they require a significant effort to build the product and the product to compete with this.
Yeah. And what is the business model? Is it a subscription-based business model, or it's pay per use? What's the business model?
Yeah, so primarily, so one is so it's a subscription business model. So you have to pay a subscription amount per machine per year. So we charge an annual fee for the machine, basically connected product. And we have a couple of free offerings for the OEM so that they can manage their customers, they can manage the AMCs and services. So basically we charge for the connected product. So if you have a normal hardware that is available with you, so that is free of cost. So the only subscription you have to pay is for the connected product. So you connected, say, 500 machines to our platform. So you have to pay for those 500 machines. In some cases, so basically right now we are also charging a one-time fee for the hardware, but over a period of time, we are focusing on, like, say, making it completely zero or making it a fully subscription business model.
Thank you. Satish?
Hi, Amiya. It's a nice presentation. And I know him since 2012, actually. When I joined NIT, he was in third year or second year, and he has guided me in a lot of stuff. So, and I didn't know much about Datoms. I knew up to Arasure when I was in contact. But I have like one comment and two questions. When Sandeep sir was saying about approaching government body, you were right that as much I know, because my father works in state government of Odisha. So right now they are mostly, when they need a bulldozer or any kind of let's say even a car, they actually give a lease or a contract to private companies, and then they just take them, and the maintenance is done by the private company. So mostly I don't think, government would need this kind of thing. But my first question is, like you were showing the hardware, is it same for any kind of product? Any kind of device, or that will change depending on what device I will attach it to?
So there are, like, say, two varieties of products. One is for stationary machines. So the device I was showing to you is for stationary device. So any kind of stationary machines, like, say, crushers, gensets, compressors. So this is the device. And for moving equipment, we have a different version of the device, which is intended for the moving equipment.
Okay.
And but doesn't vary for different mix and models. So that's the USP or maybe trade secret. So we have we are keep on building different libraries, basically firmware libraries for different mix and models. So which makes different and, like, say, makes the connectivity very similar.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. And the next is, let's say, like you said, I have 500 products connected to Datoms. So can I access them with single app or like a single portal, or? Sorry?
Yeah. So you can able to access maybe, so you have, like, say, maybe lakhs of products. So you get a summary report, or, like, so you have, like, say, different ways of accessing the data. So you have dashboards where you get summary of all of your machine, and so you can actually get alerts or notifications on the basis of the faults or problems that is happening in certain machine. You don't have to really all the machines to check whether all the machines are running correctly or not. So for us, the KPI is not the usage time of our app, rather, so it would depends on how many users or how much amount of time we have saved for you, rather than manually inspecting it.
Yes.
So the more data we have, so the more we'll keep on building more features so that life becomes more simpler, so that you can spend more time in doing other stuff rather than manage.
Yeah, and just one add-on question. Like you said, it's a subscription model. So who pays? Is it the customer, or is the like when you let's say you have partnered with Mahindra, so you will be taking the subscription cost from Mahindra, or if I buy the product, I have to pay the subscription?
So usually for the first 2 years, so when you are buying a product, so we are getting paid by Mahindra. So Mahindra is paying us for the first 2 years. So then you can continue with Mahindra directly. So there are so basically there is a restriction on the plans available with Mahindra. So if you want to increase, because you might have multiple machines, so maybe not necessarily with Mahindra, maybe you'll have Caterpillar machines or other kind of machines. Then you can switch to Datoms directly and pay the subscription, because already the hardware is already bundled. So you don't have to pay for the hardware. The hardware is monetized. Now you have to pay only the subscription. So it becomes a pure SaaS model post the first year.
Yeah. Okay. It's like so if I understand correctly, it's like when we buy a car, we have 1 year insurance, and then we can proceed with them, or we can directly switch to.
Yes, you can directly switch. So basically, so if you say purchase a car, so you sometimes if the car also there is a default insurance which is coming.
Yes.
Our companies give you a default insurance for the first year. The next year onwards, so you have a choice whether you with the same brand or you can switch.
Okay. All the best, and
thank you so much.
More success.
We have 2 minutes. We can take one more question.
Yeah, Amiya, impressive growth and very nice story for your company. So congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So, Amiya, you did mention that you're looking to raise money. Can you be more specific how much you are trying to raise?
Yeah, so right now we are actually looking to raise pre-Series A fund of $3 million. And say we are initially right now we are raising a convertible note before that, where we are accommodating say small ticket size investors who bring in more value, rather than we are not looking for money from them, rather we are looking for more value, so that we can have maybe a strong team or strong people who can advise us. So we have an open timeline till May 30. So we are expecting to raise around 500K out of the 3 million through convertible note, and we have opened off Angel List RUV. So basically, there is a roll-up vehicle which is available for this convertible note round, where we are expecting people to basically there is a restriction on so if you are based out of India or you have a NRE account in India, so you can directly invest from any amount between 3 lakhs to 3 lakhs and above. So 5 lakhs and above, sorry. And if you are based out of US and doesn't have any account in India, banking account, then the minimum amount is 25 lakhs, because that's the RBI restriction on the investment. So this is the investment information, and the valuation set for the convertible note is 10 million at a discount. We're offering a discount of 20%, and the valuation floor is 5.5 million. And for 3 million pre-Series A, we're expecting a valuation of around 15 million, which will be happening maybe in the next 4 to 5 months time period. So the convertible note round is kind of a bridge round, or maybe so you can say just so before we do the pre-Series A from a formal VC, so we are going ahead with the convertible note.
Makes sense. Do you have any questions for us?
So right now, so basically, so anybody who actually, so I don't know exactly how, say I can get support from all of you, but definitely I look forward to, so actually I'm also planning to come to US and I'll also planning to visit to multiple places in the US, so that while visiting to US, maybe I'll try to meet in person. So anyone who, like, maybe, I don't know. So anyone who has little interest or see like some synergy with Datoms, they can directly reach out to me. So I am sharing my phone number in the chat box, so that like you can directly reach out to me through WhatsApp, or maybe I'm also sharing the mail ID, so you can reach out to me through mail, or you can directly reach out to Prateek, because he is based out of US, and all of you might be knowing him very well, Prateek or Anupam or Manish. So maybe they are your friends, or maybe seniors or juniors. So I don't know exactly, but you can reach out to them as well. So they are associated with me. And yeah, so I'm getting help from them, and also like seeking guidance and help from all of you.
I want to quickly say that if anybody has any questions about the investment plan that Amiya shared, I realize that many of us may not have invested in startups, and what does it mean, convertible note, and the other parameters that are important. So if anybody has questions, I'm happy to answer those questions in a phone call. I'm based out of the San Francisco Bay Area and available on WhatsApp or email or phone.
Perfect. Thanks, Amiya. Thanks for really educating on these things, and good luck, and let us know how we can help. And I appreciate everyone to join the call. I know it's a Saturday morning for the West Coast. Truly appreciate it, and we have recorded it, so it will go on YouTube. So maybe there are other people who can watch this. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Amiya.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone, for joining this meeting.
Yeah, all the best. Thank you.